The Joe Rogan Experience.
This whole COVID and then the George Floyd protests and then the riots and the looting and everything like that really highlights how fragile our civilization is. Really shows everybody.
Yeah. And how easily we are controlled through the media.
Yep.
Easily we're controlled. I try not to watch it anymore because you're just getting brainwashed. And once you realize you're just being brainwashed, like they just control how you feel about everything. They control, you hate this guy, change the other channel. No, that guy's a good guy. Fuck this guy. And it's just all misinformation.
Yep.
The WHO and Fauci, one day don't do masks, you don't need masks. The next day, you need masks. Como needs 50,000 ventilators and then puts them all in the nursing homes and then all the nurse people die.
Yeah,
but let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that's the Cuomo nursing home thing is a giant scandal, man. He let those people go back to the nursing homes. They infected and killed thousands of people because of that. And
so his numbers go straight up, And then, why are we incentivizing, if we even go into why are we incentivizing hospitals to say that there were COVID deaths? What is the purpose of that? It makes no sense.
I think the idea was because this was a new disease and they required more financially. It's more difficult to treat those people, that they allocated more money towards people that had COVID. Mm-hmm. But when you do that, you do incentivize people to mark deaths as COVID.
Yeah, there's people that get shot and they were like, well, he had COVID when he died. But did they test him for COVID? Well, it doesn't matter. Just wrote it on there.
But there are
and
also,
then the numbers come out.
Apparently, there have also been a bunch of people that died and weren't COVID tested that they do believe died because of complications for COVID too. So the idea is that it could even possibly balance it out. They don't know. But there are a lot of people that have, here's a deceptive one that I've read. It was really fucked up. They were talking about this kid who was, I think he was 17, who died from COVID. And they said they said he was healthy. No other health issues, they said. But then when you read the article deeper, it turns out he had diabetes. He had type 1 diabetes, and he was 400 pounds. And it's like, wait a minute. That's not no issues. These articles are full of shit. And they write those articles just so that you click on them because they get the fucking ad revenue from clicks. So they're incentivized to trick you into being scared. You're like, oh my God, a 17-year-old died? What happened? My 17-year-old can die. Holy fuck. And then you click on it. And if you don't read, 6-7 paragraphs into the article, you don't find out that this was a 400-pound diabetic kid that,
could have died from the flu 3 months earlier.
Yeah.
And it would have been the same shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So the numbers are fudged. So I don't want to believe your numbers. Don't come to me with more scare tactics about the numbers are spiking. Well, you already said that 50% of the positives are false positives.
Well, at least finally they're saying, when they say the numbers are spiking, I haven't heard that 50% are false positives. I haven't heard that.
Video. There was that chick that is with Fauci, the other one.
She was saying 50%?
Yeah, I don't know how old the video was, but she said that our testing we're coming up, and if you have 1% of whatever and we test it, then 50, about half of the positives are false positive.
Jesus.
And then don't wear a mask, and you have to wear masks. And they said the whole reason we have to flatten the curve is because it can live on anything for up to 9 days, and even an asymptomatic person can still transmit it. Then it comes out, they say the exact opposite.
Yeah, now they're saying asymptomatic people very, very rarely transmit it.
I don't choose to believe that, Joe. I'm going to believe what they told me the first time.
There's a lot of people that do say that.
Not the new facts that they have now. So we're still going to wear masks all the time.
People get mad at you if you suggest differently. There's a lot of people that like being scared too. And they're like, fuck you, wear your goddamn mask. We need to protect people.
Love it.
But meanwhile,
if there's no police, who's going to protect you and you? Who's going to protect your family? Me.
Meanwhile, these people weren't freaking out when you're seeing these mass protests. And the spikes, guess what? Happened right after the protests. And at least they're saying that now. At least they're being forced into saying it's probably connected to the protests. Well, of course.
Or it's just one more way to get people to let's scare them to stop revolting. Let's get them to chill out. Now COVID the numbers are spiking, guys.
Do you think it's that calculated? That's what they're doing?
I think there's a lot of calculated shit going on. There's too many weird things going on. I'm like,
who's calculating it though?
I think that it's Dr. Evil. I think it is.
He's
I
alive.
think that they're in their thing, and next we're gonna launch the sharks with laser beams on their head.
What happened to murder hornets? They came and went real quick. I was really worried about them.
Aliens, bro.
Fuck.
I'm putting it out there. Aliens will come.
Well,
aliens are coming before the election.
And Dave's like, listen, man, I got to do something. I got to figure this out. It's all been approved by the governor. Everybody's, distanced 6 feet apart. They all maintain social distancing during the show. They wear masks during the show.
How long are
What's this?
How long are we going to keep doing this?
Texas governor urges people to stay home as states report surges of new COVID-19 cases. Yeah, you want to see the photo of the Austin protest? You seen it? It's crazy. Austin, which is the most progressive city in Texas, had this insane protest, which, listen, I think is great. I do. I think it's great that people want to show solidarity, that people want to get out there and let everybody know that they're not down with police brutality, and that they're down with racial equality, and that you got all these thousands and thousands of people together to have the same positive message. I love it. However, that COVID doesn't give a fuck about racial equality or social justice. If you're not healthy, it's gonna get you.
I don't know, man.
And the cases spike. But the other thing about Texas is a giant percentage of it, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 50%, is actually in prisons. So when they're talking about statewide issues, do you have an image? Because I can get an image for you. I got a good one for you. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that'll cause a problem. Look at all those fucking people. But one thing they have found out, if you guys are going to protest during the day. And this is why. There's been a new study that came out that said that COVID-19 dies almost instantly in contact with sunlight.
Didn't Trump say that like 2 months ago, and everyone said he was crazy?
No, he was saying like put light into the body.
No,
and
he said 80
Lysol
degrees. He said when the summer comes, the heat
yes,
kills it.
But it's not the heat. It's actually light. So the nighttime is just as dangerous in the summer as it is during the day. It's not heat. It's not a temperature issue. I'm sure some temperature kills it.
Joe, this thing is not real, bro.
No!
This is not real,
it's not
bro.
Real?
It's not real.
Should we light a joint?
It is the fucking flu. Yeah,
We're going
please,
deep.
let's do it. Deep.
Take one of those.
It's not real.
You don't think it's real?
I think that the flu is real. I think that people get sick from the flu every year and die. I think that it's a bad thing. I don't think that all of this nonsense is going on, and they keep perpetuating it and keep perpetuating it. It's come on. I'm just not buying it anymore. It's just you guys. You change your views. You change your opinions. It's like if you were the writer of a TV show, say Friends. Your job would be to write a 30-minute episode that was funny and intriguing and dramatic and fucking scary or whatever the fuck. And like the media just writes an episode, and then the next day they like write a new episode and like change their shit.
I understand what you're saying.
It's such bullshit.
I understand what you're saying. I'm going to give you a different perspective.
Okay.
This is the different perspective. The different perspective is legit biologists have analyzed the actual virus itself, and they find all sorts of problems with this virus. I had Brett Weinstein on the podcast the other day. He's a professor, a legit biologist, and he was discussing all of the indicators in the virus that seem to point to the fact that this has probably been leaked from a lab. And he explained it in terms of the way viruses evolve. I'm going to do a terrible job of paraphrasing it because I'm a moron and he's brilliant. But when he said in the long run, what he's basically saying is this is a very legit virus. It's very complicated because of the fact that it's been fucked with. Because this is not a virus like a regular cold or like anything else that we've encountered before. This is something that's really complicated and may have evolved because it came from a lab. His perspective is it may have evolved to transmit better indoors. And it's very vulnerable to UV light, which also might be part of it being from a lab and not something that existed in the wild that actually just jumped from a bat to a pangolin to a person or what have you. So legit scientists and biologists who are not a part of the narrative, they're not working for any government agency, they're not a part of the news media that's trying to transmit propaganda, they are concerned with it. And they're concerned with it for very specific scientific reasons. Now, me as a person who doesn't know what the fuck any of that stuff I just said means, really, I just repeat it. And it sounds like I'm smart. But the smart people actually are worried about it for very specific reasons that I can explain to you. Now, it's not vulnerable for a lot of people, they're not going to be vulnerable. Like pro athletes. We were talking about those NBA players that get it. Mm-hmm. Listen, those are top of the food chain stud athletes. They shake it off. They're not experiencing any symptoms, over and over and over again. There's a lot of people that get it. Idris Elba shook it off. There's a lot of people that get it, shake it off. They barely get it. They barely even know they have it. But they're really robust, healthy people. The concern is people that aren't, old people that are vulnerable. When they get it, man, they get it bad. And I was reading an article today about a woman who's been sick with COVID for 100 days now. And she still has days where she has like these horrible flu-like symptoms and she gets real wheezy. But I think she has multiple sclerosis and she's got some other underlying health conditions. So those people have to really be worried about this because it's not predictable and they don't know how to treat it totally, especially in the beginning. It turned out when they put people on ventilators, my buddy Michael Yo got it. And he got it early on. And his doctor told him, if I put you on a ventilator, you're probably going to die because your body's going to stop breathing for itself. It's going to let the ventilator do all the work.
The ventilator, 90% of people put on ventilators.
I think it's 80.
80%
died.
For anything ever die. Is that true?
I don't know.
That's what I heard.
Sounds good. Sounds terrifying.
Say 80%. So when
the question is,
when
though,
Cuomo's like, we need 40,000 ventilators, because who are you saving when 80% of those people are going to die?
The thing is, though, I think the ventilator, one way you could look at it, the ventilator is such a last-ditch effort that by the time you get to the, what is that? What do you got there?
Ice
cold, Budweiser.
Ice cold,
Ooh,
delicious,
yes.
but heavy for you, my friend.
What a good man. He brings his own beer. You fucking stud.
I come with all kinds of gifts. I brought you some Ignite stuff, too.
Oh, nice.
Dan Sims.
Shout out to Dan Bilzerian. Tell me he's writing a book.
I think he did write his book.
Yeah. Look at that. There you go. This is dog stuff, right?
Yeah, that one's for Marshall.
Oh, yay. He'll love it.
My dog's been using it, too. It's really good stuff.
Okay, cool.
Dan, everything's the best.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. He's, it's funny how he's jumped balls deep into weed and CBD.
Yeah.
All right, look at that. Dog CBD. It even says it on there. I fucked up with CBD-MD and I took some of their dog CBD. It was delicious peanut butter flavor. I think it's fine though.
I'm sure. Why not? What's the difference?
It's just CBD, but they make it flavored for dogs. What's that?
Cool
more shit?
Yeah,
Look at
man.
this. Dan Bilzerian, generous fella. All right. Okay. Cool. CBD and T-shirts and shit. What is the bull for? What is all that? What is the ram's head?
I think it's a goat head.
Seems satanic.
I asked him once about it, and I can't remember what the answer was, but I think it's always been like his thing.
That's like Satan, right? What is the one, the devil that has the goat head? Beelzebub. Is it Beelzebub? Sounds good. It sounds like that would be correct. All right. Thank you, Dan.
Oh.
Thank you, Satan. No? What is it? Which one?
I don't know. I'll just type goat head devil.
You got to be careful. You get people so high that they get super paranoid and they look down at that goat head.
Baphomet.
Oh, Baphomet. That's right. I've seen him on things before. That's like something Duncan would know a lot about.
That's right. I was trying to think of Duncan and think of words he said a
Yeah,
lot.
come on, man.
Yeah, that.
Hey, Dan, why is that guy on the cover of your fucking box? Why is that goat dude with eagle wings?
Goat dude, man.
Oh, that guy's creepy as fuck with his pentagram on his head. Oof.
This is interesting.
Houston ICU capacity could soon be exceeded as COVID-19 hospitalizations worsen.
It could be
And
exceeded
then all the
tomorrow.
videos come out, and it's
Whoa.
like people going to the hospitals, and there's no lines that they're trying to make it out to be. There's a lot of fuckery going on with this misinformation, man. And that's
There's a little bit of that
I have a
going
hard
on.
time just
There's a little bit of
believing
that.
the newest of the new.
But there's also real shit going on. Okay, Dr. Peter Hotez. He's been on the podcast before. National School of Tropical Medicine Diseases. Tropical Medicine at Baylor College of Medicine. He's a brilliant guy.
Yeah, it says the city of Houston, which is known for its medical schools, has a large concentration of beds and research hospitals and whatnot, and they're very close to running out of all of their ICU beds.
He said he called on the state to reimpose more aggressive social distancing restrictions. See, he's not a foolish person. If he's saying this, he's a legit scientist and a doctor, and he knows a tremendous amount about diseases. I met him many, many years ago.